What's up, guys? Matthew here, and we are going to be watching the season finale, the season 1 finale of Mr. Robot. I'm so excited. This season has been a trip. This season has hooked me entirely. I am a lifelong fan. I'm going to be quite honest, and I know it won't happen, but this show could be genuinely dog shit for the next 3 seasons, and this season would secure it a place in my heart forever. Okay? Shit is really sort of heating up. We're on the precipice of this sort of I don't know how to explain it. Leak, this world-changing event so soon. So like a part of me, like the normal, and again, this isn't a normal show. It's a good show. It's weird. It's different. I like it. It's got me on edge. I don't know what's real or what's not, and I would assume that's going to continue for the rest of the show. But when I'm watching a normal show, I don't necessarily expect something really big to happen in the first season. I would expect it to happen later in the line, but with the way that this show is going, I think that this is going to happen. And I think that the rest of the show would be the fallout from it, which I don't even like. I don't have expectations to see how that would go. I don't know if there'll be time skips or what, so I don't know. I'm really hyped to get into this finale. I'm ready to hop into it. If you guys like my content, please subscribe. It would really help me out. Like the video and drop a like. Like the video, drop a like, leave a comment, whatever you want to do. If you want to double like, I don't know. Do what you want to do. And then if you want to see the full-length reaction and you also want to see my reactions in advance, multiple weeks, maybe even months ahead, check out my Patreon. In the comments, I have what episode I'm on Mr. Robot. So if you're interested, please check it out. Let's get into the finale. I think that's, do I call, is it the White Rose or just White Rose? I'm gonna say the White Rose because it sounds better for me. But yeah, I think that's that. I don't know what the true identity is, if that makes sense. If that, and I don't even know what pronouns to use in the sense of, is that their real personality? And they were pretending in front of Elliot, or is it the opposite in the sense of the one that saw Elliot is the real sort of personality, and this is a facade? I would lean towards that one, perhaps, like this whole song and dance. And I don't know. It's not. I don't know. I don't know. That's. I like that quote though, but. So Philip, I would assume thinks knows it's Tyrell. You know what I mean? That's the obvious thing. Whether or not I'm being stupid and it's not the most obvious thing is 100% a possibility. So that's yet to be seen. But obviously, it's an end credit scene. I don't feel like a lot of end credit scenes are like big absolute game changers in the sense of adding something. I'm not saying the scene is unimportant. But it doesn't add anything major to this season. It's more of a teaser onto the next season, where we will, I assume, see a larger presence by the White Rose. It's interesting. Like, the damage is already done. You know what I mean? In the sense of, like, Rome has burned. Like, we're not watching Rome burn. Rome has burned. The money is gone. There's no getting the money back. So my next question is the rest of the show just fallout? Like, you know, the police on his ass, or these powerful, top of the top, the 1%ers of the 1%ers chasing after him, trying to get revenge? I don't know. But I am definitely intrigued. Obviously, I think the White Rose is one of the most interesting characters. Obviously shrouded in mystery. I would be very interested to see their role. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. Well, it might be a spoiler. I don't know. What pronouns should I use? Or should I just try to stick to they, them? I don't know. But it was an interesting little end credit scene. The cinematography was excellent. Obviously, from now on, from my season 2 reactions, I will know of this happening. And I like stumbled upon this. So again, I'll repeat. If you could just let me know if there's any more end credit scenes in specific episodes, I'll try my best to remember. Because now I'm scared that I missed out on other end credit scenes, and I really hope that did not happen. So, I'm going to get back to the regularly scheduled discussion. Again, this is coming from me a couple hours ago, who did not know that who did not know that this was a thing. I had sort of randomly stumbled upon the episode to grab my thumbnail, and I found it. So that sucks. But let's get back to it. That was a phenomenal finale. I want to start off with one sort of idea that I think a couple shows I've seen do this and use it as sort of a way to sort of cheap out, to sort of skip something and not really emphasize or capitalize on the moment. It's the idea of, this big sort of world-changing event happens off-screen in the middle between episode 9 and 10. And I mentioned, I've seen a couple shows use stuff like that incorrectly, but this show uses it perfectly. I'm going to make it akin to, again, a big compliment here. I'm watching right now Sopranos. No, there's going to be no spoilers, like plot-wise, for Sopranos. So I'm not going to spoil you for anything. But The Sopranos is a show that is, obviously, it's a mafia show. But it's about the characters, and it's a character study, and it's about what the characters experience. So when big shit happens, it's not shown on screen. The only thing that's really a major point is the aftermath. It's the fallout. And that's probably the closest show that I can make it akin to Mr. Robot so far in that regard. But when done correctly, I fucking love it. Like, what? I didn't need Elliot to fucking push a button, or Tyrell, or whoever the fuck did it. I didn't need to see it. You know what I mean? I want the aftermath. And I thought that this episode did a phenomenal job at showcasing the aftermath. Obviously, a lot of the sort of revolutionary type reaction to it is very sort of overstated and exaggerated from a like hallucination standpoint, I would assume, even though this is a big fucking deal. But specifically, it's funny. There was a lot of Elliot, but at the same time, there really wasn't, in the sense of like, I was gonna say no growth, but that's not the right word I was talking about. With a character like Elliot, he's so jumbled and, fumbled, that it's hard to sort of realize what's going on, if that makes sense. He's like his own virus, you know what I mean? And I have to decrypt what he's doing. And at some point, it's hard to fucking do. That shot of him choking himself was absolutely incredible. Again, I won't talk that much about it, but the acting, obviously incredible. Elliot or Rami Malek. This is going to sound crazy, and I said this in like episode 1, I feel like. He looks insane. He's a really handsome dude, but the way he sort of portrays himself in this, he looks fucking crazy. And it's like, not like a evil crazy, like a struggling, you know what I mean? You can see the struggle in his eyes. And I think that is fantastically done, if I do say so myself. This whole thing it's the perfect storm, this whole show. Angela, I thought Angela's story was absolutely fantastic. And again, I see a lot of potential for her to be my favorite character in the show as well. Again, I made a lot of, not necessarily jokes, because they weren't jokes, but she's sort of acting very devilish in this episode to me, and not like, like she's evil way, but just more of like, it feels like she has an understanding of how the world works now, or at least a better understanding than she had before. Not that she was like some child or clouded or didn't fully understand, but I feel like she's really sort of realized what's going on around her, and is not sorry for it, if that makes any sense. I hope I'm wording this correctly. But like, again, I think I'm thinking about it. Okay, other than, I'll get into the Elliot and Joanna conversation, but that's because that was my favorite scene of the episode. My second favorite scene of the episode was probably Angela and the shoe guy. I thought that was a fucking phenomenal scene right there. Because again, you could say that she's a hypocrite, but she's understanding of the fact that she's a hypocrite. And when you understand that you're a hypocrite, like, that's a big fucking step. Okay, it's sort of, And I feel like that's what Pryce is. He's sort of the final boss, the evolution of what Angela, in my opinion, has sort of taken a step towards. Again, whether or not she, like I said, she obviously, Terry said something akin to like taking it down from the inside. Maybe she's going in there with that mindset, like, oh, I'll fix this, I'll change this, and those sort of morals and goals will sort of be rotting away by the end of the show, or at least throughout the next season. I could definitely see that. But as of Angela is so interesting to me. It's really interesting too. Again, this isn't a complaint. It's really not a complaint. There was a lot less Ollie this season than I thought there would be. Obviously, I feel like this shit's all going to be pinned on him. I mean, that's just simply the way that we have to go. Not only just with the Elliot saying Ollie's name, but I mean, the Angela shit in the first place, sort of throwing him to the wolves unapologetically. So I feel like we're gonna get a lot more of him in next season. But dude, and I love Gideon too. I don't know if it wasn't this show. I think it was, what show was I talking about? I don't remember. Maybe it was The Sopranos. It was some show where my point was that the characters are important and like personally, they're unique and they're special, but at the same time they play roles to the story. And I think that is very apparent in the role of someone like Gideon, who I care about and I like, but Gideon almost feels like the sort of figurehead of the little guy getting kicked off. You know, getting kicked, getting pushed down, getting beat up constantly, and him getting back up. And I really like that. It's sort of, again, I said it in the middle of the episode. Like, I've taken economics classes, and like, I'm 21 years old. I have a couple degrees. You know, I have biomedical engineering degree. I have a film degree, but I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, I'm only 21. I don't really know that much, so I don't think I can fully comprehend, especially about money. I don't think I can fully comprehend the level of change that just went on in the world, like that much. So it's hard for me to really grasp every single little aspect of it, but this shit is fucking crazy. I didn't, like, oh my god. And I love again, maybe I'm gonna say this, and I'm sure that, because, well, sorry, I'm losing it, guys. I really liked the finale there, or the ending, and I like the idea of, like, I didn't get any answers. I'm left in the dark for the entire, you know what I mean? And if I would have to wait, and I'm probably gonna have to wait a couple days in between the next time I watch season 2, but like for like 3 or 4 days, so it's gonna be a little tough. But I mean, like, I don't need every answer right away. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people watch shows like a Lost or The Leftovers and sort of obsess over answers. And not only just obsessing over them in general, but I mean obsessing over them in the now. Like, screw, you know, the plot or the story, the character, the progression. Like, I can't care about anything unless I get the answers now. I think a lot of people have that problem. And I think that, especially a show like Mr. Robot, I think that ruins the sort of experience. I have faith that everything that I need to know, whether it's a plot twist or just something being kept from me, it will get to me. It'll arrive to me at some point. I don't need to rush it. Okay? And sort of, after again, I watched season 1. I feel like I'm in the groove now. I feel like I know what I'm dealing with. Not necessarily like these exact specifics of the plot, but I mean, I feel like I know the general sort of vibe and the general sort of feeling that it's going to evoke in me. So, like, I'm comfortable. I'm flying high. Like, I like not knowing what's going on. I like the confusion. I like the what's real, what's fake. Who is Tyrell? How is he connected? Like, what relationship? How did this work? His motives. I like not seeing him. I feel like the fucking finale of a goddamn season of a big TV show was sort of trying to find this guy, and he just didn't appear. You know what I mean? So it's, because again, I don't, Tyrell, he's such an enigma. Like, I talked about, like, he was probably, so now that I'm done the season, okay, and I have to rank. I'm gonna rank where I have Mr. Robot season 1 and the history of all the season 1s of TV I've watched. But Tyrell was probably my favorite character for the first like 8 episodes. Because I felt like I had some semblance of a grasp on his character, and then the last two episodes just sort of fucking blew that to smithereens. Not that I dislike him, or not that he's fallen or anything. He's still Tyrell is still my favorite character of the show, probably, with Joanna right on his fucking tail. And then 3, I think I might have Angela 3 and then Elliot 4, and that's not like a diss towards the main character or anything like that. That's just how many fucking characters in this show I absolutely love. So, but anyway, going back to Tyrell, like, I don't know. I don't know what his exact motives, and it's probably, again, Mr. Robot. I feel like is a show that you watch it for the first time, the experience is what sort of is amazing, and then you rewatch it a second time, and you sort of understand little things. You sort of see details, see Easter eggs, see pieces of foreshadowing that sort of piece the story together perfectly for you. Again, I could also see a world in which I spoke about a couple minutes ago. Like, I have faith that they'll give me all the answers I need. At the same time, I also really love a show that doesn't really answer that much, because the experience is the most important thing. I think of shows like The Leftovers or Monster, the anime. You don't need to know every detail to enjoy something, or even grasp these sort of general ideas or themes, or even character arcs. So, in that regard, I'm on a ride. Tyrell is confusing me in the best of ways, and I'm very excited to see how the story goes. And Joanna too. I hope Joanna is. I loved it. I love them so much. I'm in love with the show. It's interesting too. Like, I was speaking about this with a friend earlier today, actually, completely unrelated to Mr. Robot. But I was talking about like episode length, specifically in regards to like something like an anime compared to a hour-long show. And I always prefer shorter episodes. And it's not like a what's it called? Attention span thing. I think that shorter episodes of TV are better. They're more packed. I don't necessarily want less. I just want shorter episodes with more episodes, if that makes sense. And to me, Mr. Robot has perfectly filled that void in the sense of each episode is 40 to 50 minutes. Like, the long episodes are like 50 minutes. Okay, and this isn't me like shitting on any show, but I mean, something like Sons of Anarchy, a show that I watched a couple years ago in 2022. I really liked it. I really enjoyed Sons of Anarchy. The final season, every episode was genuinely an hour and 20 minutes long, it felt like. Every single episode. And it's so draining. And again, I'm not saying that nothing happened, but I just feel like when something is that long, it drains you a little bit. These episodes, they feel like a sprint. They feel like a punch right in the face. There's no wasted time. It's and like I said, at least a third of each episode of Mr. Robot is like hallucinations or dream sequences, or you know what I mean, what the fuck is going on too. So, and again, that's another thing, like I spoke about in the beginning of my discussion this episode. The big climax happened off screen, and I love that. When done correctly, you don't need to see it. Okay, you know what happened. Yeah, a button was pressed. The hack began. I want to see how the characters react to it. And I really liked, and again, something that I need. Next season, I need more in-depth details on F Society, the members. Again, this isn't a complaint or anything like that, but they felt very sort of mysterious and underdeveloped for me. But I know that I would assume that they're going to be focused on now. That's something that wasn't needed. Because again, Elliot did everything. So, it's not like they did work, but they weren't like major hitters. But I do want to see how they got there and how they were each radicalized. Because they were all radicalized, and Darlene specifically. And it's interesting with Darlene, why she's not in the sort of hallucinations with Elliot. Is it because, like, she's real and she's here? That he's just not thinking about her in that way of being, like, fake? Or, I don't know. This is a very interesting finale. One of the most interesting season finales I've ever seen in TV history for me, quite honestly. I'm not saying it's my favorite season finale of any show of all time. As good as this is, I'm not crowning it my number one yet. But structure-wise, uniqueness, it almost, in a way, and don't take this the wrong way. I really understand what I mean here. It almost felt like nothing happened, but at the same time, everything happened, specifically character-wise. So I absolutely loved it for that reason. I can't believe how good this is, and I can't. The cops are on him too. That's something. That's something to pay attention to that I didn't even think was a sort of idea or a possibility. The cops are on him. I mean, he wouldn't be lying. He had facts to back it up too. So, and again, they're not like they don't understand the full extent to what they're researching, I would assume. And again, I would assume that Elliot is like the grade A of grade A hackers, so he would maybe understand or monitor or protect his stuff, but at the same time, poking and prodding at you, it's a big deal. You know what I mean? It's like a human versus a mosquito. You know what I mean? Like one mosquito ain't gonna do shit to me, but if I got, you know what I mean, 10, 20, 30 mosquitoes poking up on me at all times, I'm gonna get fucking flustered, I'm gonna get annoyed, and I'm going to make a mistake. So that's interesting. That's another thing too. And again, this isn't a complaint. And as I've just said, like I like shorter episodes, so you could argue that like there's less time in the season. But a character like Krista too didn't get as much screen time as I would have thought, and I really sort of see a lot of potential in her character. And again, not that they fumbled the potential. Don't. I'm always afraid of people misunderstanding what I'm saying. But I would really like Krista to be a lot more involved with Elliot next season. I don't know. Okay. I might have a couple more things to say, but I want to real quick get to this ranking. So you typically, if the season is good enough, I have a ranking, or well, if a season is good enough at the end of every season, I rank it in my all-time seasons list, and not like my top 100 seasons of all time, but my favorite season ones of all time. So, got it right here. Mr. Robot is automatically at its lowest. It is 7th all time. It's better than So I'm looking at stuff like it's in the Lost, Prison Break, Game of Thrones territory for me. I'm going to skip, and if you guys are sticking with me, please. I'm not including Your Lie in April or Death Note. Those are two animes that only have one season. Their entire show is one season. And to be quite honest, they would beat this one singular season of Mr. Robot. So, other than those, damn, this was a good fucking season. You know, okay, I got it. This is obviously a show that I will rewatch at some point, and my opinions might shift a little, might change. I think that I'm gonna rank Mr. Robot season 1 as, I forgot. I haven't ranked Severance in that. Okay, including Severance, which isn't on my list yet. I forgot to put it on there. Mr. Robot's going to be my 5th favorite season 1 of all time. My number 4 season 1 of all time is Severance. My number 3 favorite season of all time is Game of Thrones. And then 2 and 1 is Death Note and Your Lie in April, but they don't really count. So technically you could argue that this is my 3rd favorite season 1 in TV history, right above Lost for me. So, and I've said multiple times on the channel, Lost is my favorite show of all time, live action. So we're hitting the ground running here. I'm just so happy with this. I've spoken about this in a lot of my other reactions. I don't remember if I've spoken about it in this one. This channel has sort of given me a sort of avenue, a reason, like forcing me to start new shows. This has always been a problem I've had starting new shows. I get, I don't know, I don't want to say panicked or stressed about. I don't know how to explain it. There's so many options, it's hard to pick and devote myself to one thing. But this was a spur of the moment watch. You know what I mean? And even there are parts of me that sometimes I don't know how to say this, regret it too, because let me tell you what, it's so easy to upload the videos to YouTube for all my reactions except Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot is a fucking pain. It probably takes me about 4 hours to upload it because of how hard it gets hit by copyright every episode. So that's the one negative, and so even a part of me is like, oh, I shouldn't have started this, but at the same time, entertainment wise, happiness level, this is a moment in history for me. I am so happy watching this. I am shocked. It sucks. Just a little sneak peek behind the curtain. I only watch shows for the channel Monday through Friday, and this is being filmed Thursday night. And this Friday specifically, I'm not able to watch Mr. Robot, so I got to go with 3 days without watching it, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna fucking hurt. But you got to do what you got to do. I think that that's going to be it. Again, don't spoil me on anything, especially if it gets explained later. But if there's anything I missed, any cool details, any sort of pieces of dialogue or relationships, or an understanding that I am missing that you guys would want to share with me, I would really appreciate it if you dropped it in the comments. Please subscribe; it would really help me out, and I would really appreciate it. Please like and comment, like I said, and most importantly, if you like my reactions, you want to see the full-length reactions, and more importantly, you want to get them earlier than they release on YouTube, I'd appreciate checking out my Patreon. It's got the picture on the screen, and if you check the comments, it should say what episode I'm on at that period of time. So I thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next week. You guys have a good one.